Welcome, guys, to Metallerium Pages. It's a great pleasure to talk with you about Refusal, this new album, Venomous Human Concept, and more things related to the metal world in general. So we are starting by asking, how are you doing today? How was the band during the last couple years? Because your previous album was released 6 years ago.
Well, I can start. So I'm Aleksi, I'm the drummer of Refusal, and I'm doing quite okay. I've been sick leave for a few days from my work, but that's regular flu. And what comes up to band? Yeah, we have some lineup changes. So our original vocalist decided to left 3 years ago, and we basically had all songs for this new album ready already. And obviously after when he left, we started to looking for a new vocalist, and we found Juhani, and now we are here.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So now we'll
Yes.
talk about... Yes.
Oh, yeah. Just wanted to say doing good. And yes, I am the new vocalist and been with these guys for 2 years now, maybe, or
Yeah,
more.
2.5. Yeah.
2.5, yes. And it's been good. It's been good.
Okay, I understand. So now, well, you changed the vocals 2 years ago about this one. And when do you decide to compose new songs for this Venomous Human Concept? It was perhaps some of the songs are rescue for the previous album, or all the songs are new.
Let me think. It's been such a long, because we started to compose these songs maybe 6 years ago with the old vocalist. And I think every songs are new. They are not from not any left overs from previous albums. So yeah, they are new. But like I said, 6 years or 7 years old, some of them already.
Okay, I understand. I understand for this one. So now, well, when I hear this the Venomous Human Concept, your music is death metal in all ways, but you decide to do, or in this album, music far away from the influence from Finland, because usually Finland, since the 90s to now, has a special sound like the Swedish, like the American, but you decide to bring or reunite all influence for the mostly American stuff, not from Finland. So why did you decide to lean down for the American influence and not from you with influence like bands for Demigo, Demilich, Funebre, etc., etc.?
I can say only about from my perspective, but I've been thinking this actually quite a lot, because I've heard this a lot about we sound like Florida death metal and stuff like that. And actually a couple of weeks ago I listened to Death in few years, and I noticed that some of drum parts are quite similar what Gene Oakland has composed, which I have composed. So maybe there's that kind of similarity. At least. What can I say about drums? But hard to say about guitar and bass. And Juhani obviously can say something about vocals. But yeah.
Yes, I think the vocal stylings. I'm not a big fan of like the traditional death metal. I listen to more newer bands and maybe a different kinds of metal, like metalcore, hardcore, stuff like that. So my influences are from there. So I think that has had its part how the new songs sound. For me,
definitely.
at least.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. So now, well, the band started the career in 2008, but one thing that captured my attention is that you decide to release your first album 8 years later. So that is a curious thing, because in Europe that's completely normal that a band starts their career whatever year, and the next 2 or 3 years release, or 4 years release an album. But you released your first album 8 years since the band was created in 2008. So what are the reasons for the first album delayed 8 years to release your first one?
That's a good question, but I think we said like we together we figured out how it's to be in the band and what's it like, and we did a lot of gigs, and we released these demo tapes. Maybe 7 demo tapes or 6, I can't remember, and we had some lineup changes as well. I guess we had maybe it was 4th or 5th lead guitarist before our first album. So lots of gigs and some of lineup changes and practicing what is it to be in the band.
Okay, okay, okay. I understand completely about this one. Now, well, you said it. Now, you said it. You said it, Juhani, so that you are the new vocalist. So for you in this situation, so how for you it was the to bring back the old sounds with the previous songs and with the new sounds, because you said it that you have a different influence, not all death metal. So you have more deathcore or more new bands, more new sounds for this. So how do you bring the guttural stuff with the classic stuff into the death metal, especially for the guttural stuff?
Oh well, of course I listened to the whole back catalog before our first show and just tried to complement, the old singer, not try to only emulate him, but bring my own sound with his sound on the same. And then on the new songs, I just did what felt good. I didn't really think about it that I want to sound this or that or whatever. I just tried to sound myself.
Okay, okay. Now there is a one thing as well. Now you are with Time to Kill Records. Your previous album was released with Great Day Records, another underground label. So how it was the transition of this? Because when I read a lot for your full albums, each album was released by different labels. Now 3 labels in general. So how is the transition to since the beginning with the underground labels and now with Time to Kill Records, but a well-known label now.
Well, I would say we are in a good place now. So yeah, like you said, our first album was released via FDA Records, which is German record label, and second one, well, yeah, it was from released by French Great Day Records, which is way smaller, cool label and stuff like that, but that was way smaller compared to FDA Records. So now I would say we are back at it, like for a bigger label, and I would say it's good for us. So maybe the promotion is they have more options for promotion, and they are more well known compared to maybe Great Day Records. Nothing bad to say about Great Day Records though, but yeah.
Hmm. Okay, okay. Now, well, one thing that captured my attention is that Finland always, well, since the beginning, since the 80s or 90s, Finland has a strong death metal scene. There's their own sound, already related. But now, during the last years, I saw that the Finland are more leaned down to the metalcore, to the alternative metal. One thing that is curious for me, because when I hear all the time bands from Finland, since the beginning, it was or power metal, or death metal, or black metal, or even doom metal since the 2000s. But now there is still death metal, but now the new bands are more leaned down to this topic with metalcore, alternative. I don't know new sounds from the 90s, especially. And for this, I remember that I hear and I interview one band from alternative there in Finland, and then told me that is the new wave of there is like a new wave of alternative bands or metalcore bands in all festivals in Finland. Is that true? And how this thing affect to be a death metal band with an old sound?
I think it's a generational shift. People come from different backgrounds. People who played death metal in the 90s used to listen to way different bands that people who are born in like 90s or 2000s even. And it's just the way it goes. There is still good death metal in Finland, but it has also changed. But I'm not worried about death metal in Finland, and I think it's good. Times change and fashion changes and everything, and maybe in 20 years we will be in a completely different situation altogether music-wise. But I think it's just normal fluctuation.
Okay. Now I saw that now the concept since the beginning from talking about the lyrics more about this one. In the first two albums, the concept it was more like the rot, or violence or something that usually are the concepts of the death metal in general. So, but then when I try to read more influences about this one, there is a little textures where we're talking about from the politics or in general for the society in the lyrics. So, in this one, for you, what important for you is to write about it? For example, death, politics in a death metal band.
Yes, that was like first thing when I started to write those lyrics, that I didn't want to be, your basic death metal lyrics. I just wanted to say how I feel, but I don't want to be too preachy about it. So not say like this is wrong and this is how you should do it. It's just how I see things and how I feel about everything in the world going on, and just write what I think and what is on my mind and what bothers me and stuff like that. Of course, you really don't want to sing about happy things in death metal because I don't know if anyone does that, but it just came straight from the heart. Of course, I try to stay away from certain themes, but I didn't want to close anything off at the same time. Hard to say, but it's just what comes from the heart is the basic thing.
And it's funny, our previous singer Niikka did lyrics exactly from the same point of view, just Juhani just said. So there were lots about politics, but he didn't want to preach anything. And I would add also that maybe those typical death metal lyrics might be sometimes a bit boring. I mean, if you sing about slaughtering your relatives or family or stuff like that, it might be a bit boring in the long run.
Okay. So now talking about a little more about the promotion of this new album. So what kind of promotion do you have for this venomous human concept? Perhaps you have some gigs there in Finland, outside of Finland, in Europe, or you are presenting new options to travel around the world. Who knows? Or perhaps you're already working in a new album. Who knows? What kind of plans do you have for Refusal and this new album, Venomous Human Concept?
Well, like you said, we've had a couple of shows after the album release here in Finland, and we have a bunch of them left or coming. And also we have a European tour on next autumn. It starts at the end of the October, and like from there to mid of November, if I remember right. Yeah. And what else? I don't know. Gigs, lots of gigs, hopefully.
I guess there has been some discussion about an EP, but I'm not going to say more because this is not 100%. But keep the train rolling or train moving, and about traveling further than Europe, we haven't really discussed about it, but let's not close anything off, of course.
And at the same time, we are a DIY band, so we organize mostly all of our gigs by ourselves. So we don't have any booking company behind us, and that means lots of work, especially for Tero and Timo, who are mostly organizing gigs and doing stuff. So yeah, very punk style death metal band.
Okay, yeah, well, mostly all but now are releasing. And one question that you bring me up about this one, because that is true. Now a ton of releases are releasing independently, so that's like a new movement because there's 1,000 of bands now. It's not like the 80s or 90s when you have 30 bands or 40 bands in 2 or 3 years. Now we have 30 bands in just 1 week or 40 bands in just 1 week. So that's amazing for now. The time changed completely. But the tendencies now is that the bands are releasing the material by themselves. So what do you, for you, how important is to be a label now in this world when there is a tendency to release the music by themselves?
Well, the label helps a lot, of course.
Yeah, true.
And releasing independent is, I don't know if it's some kind of bragging thing that we do everything by ourselves.
Mhm.
Of sometimes it's the only way, but of course a lot of bigger bands have turned from labels to independent, which is of course much easier for them. But for us now, I think the label is really good thing, and it helps us a lot. And let's see what the future holds. But for now, I'm really happy with the label.
Me too. And I think label is most important part of promotion because
Mhm.
we can't do everything by ourselves. So
Mhm.
yeah, because I've released albums with some other bands by ourselves without label, and it might be like, yeah, we have really good album, but no one really knows about that. So yeah, we might do like 2 shows and that's it. So yeah, label helps a lot.
Mm. Okay, okay. And when this topic, there is another tendencies in the world that I'm very curious in, because I spoke with a lot of fans, and as you can see, well, there is trying to, they try to be under, against to the technicality or against to the standardization of the sound, because now all the records sounds amazing, sounds great. It's not like the 80s or 90s when you find 5 records bad records and then 6 records great records. That's normal at that moment, but now all records sounds amazing in the studio especially. But there's a new movement with the band that they try to record a song or an album with a full rehearsal, or I hear some drummers are playing music without the metronome. So they try to just bring back the old sound of the how to record a band now. So now, what is your opinion about now first about the standardization of the sound in all extreme metal, not just death metal, and also the movement that is against with that. So try to record in all the music with war rehearsals, without metronome, and these kind of things.
Well, my view for it is that uh, some bands, yeah, they do it, and it's good for them. But sometimes it feels like a gimmick, that you can just promote it like, yeah, we did this without metronome, or we did it like a full band
Mhm.
stuff and everything. But the most important thing is the songs and how they sound. And it really doesn't matter how you record it. If the song is good, then it will be good however you do it.
Okay.
But I'm such an emotional guy that I think feeling is all about it. So I've done records live without metronome or anything like that, and all parts separately with metronome. So it's more like there's more feeling to record an album if everyone are playing at the same time. But of course, I understand that some music can be it might be quite hard to uh, accomplish if everyone are playing at the same time. But yeah, it's about a feeling, so feeling's good.
Okay, okay. So we are close to this interview, guys, and one of the last questions from this interview, it is that well, as you can see, as I said it, that is more like the 50 or 60 releases per weekend. So for us, even we are working as a media, it's impossible to follow these records now. Even we try to do a review, interviews, etc. There is um, a thousand of releases for this. And now with this option, so what is your opinion about this? I don't know, these overwhelming releases in the metal world. Is good or is bad for the scene to have more than 50 or 60 releases per weekend?
Well, more music is more music, so I think there's always some space and time for music in this world. So why not?
Yes. No matter how many releases or new bands coming up, but the good ones will stay afloat. And if you are really honest about it and true what you do and try your everything, then you will stay afloat and the rest will sink to the bottom. So no, I don't think it's a bad thing. It's a good thing, and everybody there's everything for everybody now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. Okay, well, guys, we arrived to the sad moment of this interview. Thank you for your time. This new record
Thank
is
you.
an amazing one, a great one. That metal punching in the face, clearly. All the songs are bring extreme music. So, congratulations on this new one. And perhaps we want to add something to your Latin American fans and obviously Metallerium followers.
Well, I never been in Latin America, so I really like to be visit there someday and hopefully play there. So let's see what the future comes up. And thanks for having us. This was a pleasure. So really nice interview, and I hope you enjoy our new record.
Yes, same here. Keep on listening to new bands all over the world and keep on listening to our record. Thank you very much for this opportunity, and stay heavy.